We come back today. We speak about the political divisions of the United States, something that is public, and you can get it on Wikipedia, the political divisions of the United States. And this is a series of salvation and deliverance from the captivity of those who came to a land and claimed it for themselves through trickery and persuasion of falsehood, by robbing, by killing. So the fact that you must know what is going on in your surroundings, it's like do the knowledge of your surroundings. So today we will speak about the political divisions of the United States and how they have used a strategy so you would not remember and won't be able to get out of what I refer to as the trap. Who am I? I am Michael Gabriel. I am that which is the warring angel on earth and the angel of revelations to reveal that what is needed for those who are considered to be the Elohim, the children of the angelic realm who we left behind to care for the earth. And as I begin to awaken them, there will be many who will not want to remember for their membrane or the function of their brains, which was called Bartholin gland, was taken away. And other things that happened because of what is called junk DNA, or the DNA that has been exposed to the animalistic world. It is almost similar to bestiality, having sex with the beast man or the subhuman man, which is considered to be rape. This rape is now done in the communications of the English language, in the music and sounds, which is called rap music. This is why those who set out to earn a living in rap music and to be a part of this generation of falsehood, materialistic junk, they have closed the door on themselves and went down a wrong road. So as we continue with this particular sermon, speech, cookbook, any type of communications you want to call it, this is the angel's way of reclaiming the total planet. This is not something that we negotiate with. The toys that the humans have, as far as their airplanes, the waves that they use, this is something that we created, and we have ways of doing things the way it's supposed to be. It's called the supernatural. So all the lies that you've been told, now listen to the truth and see if you want to walk this way. The political divisions of the United States, from Wikipedia, the free encyclopedia. Political divisions of the United States are the various recognized governing entities that together form the United States. States, the District of Columbia, territories, and that which they call the Indian reservations. The primary first level political division of United States is the state. The first level of this political or policy of division to control the land that they call United States. There are 50 states which are bound together in what we call a union. So 50 are bounded in a union. A union is considered to be a unit. A unit is considered to be unity, and unity is considered to be the oneness, which we call and gave you as law in the spiritual realm as wahad, to be one, collective. So now each state holds governmental jurisdiction over the defined geographic territories. So it says it holds governmental, the mental, the jurisdiction, the laws over and defined geographic territories, and shares its sovereignty with the United States federal government. So it means that each state governs the inhabitants of their area, and they are considered to be the new kings on the planet. The governors of each state is a new king. Respect that. You can respect that. You can learn how to deal with that, and you can rise up and give your thoughts that I will show you your mental to bring forth a brighter United States of America. According to numerous decisions of the Supreme Court, so it says, go back, each state holds governmental jurisdiction over a defined geographic territory. They have borders and shares its sovereignty with the United States government. And this is defined, it says, according to the numerous decisions that was made by one part of this makeup called United States Supreme Court. In the Supreme Court, you have Supreme Court justice. These people are picked for life to make the legislatures, the laws, and to go over the laws when they hear them in their court. That is the law of the United States, the Supreme Law, the Supreme Court justices. This was a duplication of what they call the Iroquois Leagues, or the 5 civilized tribes that they call Indians, which were the love of Abraham, called the Moors, falsely called the Blackamoors. It was called Moors from the word amore, which is love. It was called love for the low that was given for the high deities, and the orientation and the word's vibration of guidance to these people who maintain the connection of the globe through the waters called the oceans, that they call the seas, that we come from, the humans, as seamen. The 50 individual states and United States as a whole are each sovereign jurisdictions. The states are not administrative divisions of the country, and that their powers and responsibilities are in no way assigned to them from above by federal legislation or the Constitution. Rather, they exercise all powers of government not delegated to the federal government by the Constitution. All state governments are modeled after the federal government and consist of 3 branches. Although the 3-branch structures is not constitutionally required, you have the executive, the legislative, and your judicial branches of government and state and in federal. These facts are very much to know. Without these facts, you cannot be involved in righteousness of any kind, if it's spiritually or if it's civically. So it says all state governments retain pioneering power to make laws covering anything not preempted by the U.S. Constitution, the federal statutes, or treaties ratified by the U.S. Senate, and are organized as presidential systems where the governor is both head of the government and head of the state. The governor of each state is a president, which is the head of the government in that area, head of the state. The various states are then typically subdivided into counties. Louisiana uses the term parishes. Alaska used the term boroughs. New York also used boroughs. The borough of Brooklyn, the borough of the Bronx, the borough of this, and these boroughs are also elected by kings, that is called mayors. Mayors, governors, presidents. President is beside it, those who take the responsibility of articulating the rules defined by their cabinets. Just like you have a cabinet in your kitchen with tools, they have 12 cabinets. This cabinet is symbolic to what we call astrology and the 12 different types of signs. These 12 signs in astrology is originally from what we call the Denera, the star map, that is not taught in school. It's not taught in the school, which is a programming center. A programming center for you to be subjected to their commands, not to rise up to your full potential. Now, these things I say today may not be important to you right now because you're wandering, you're drifting. We call that in the new day, which is the nighttime or the N.Y.C, the shadow period, we call that out of pocket, which we call that you're out of pocket, you're out of groove, you're lost in space, you're wandering. You're considered to be that which is breathing or living, but your mental is dead. Your mental do not consist of the energy of productivity. you are deteriorating in the system. You're not helping the system because you do not know your surroundings. You do not know the law, which makes you a lawbreaker. And it makes you what we call out of the law. If you out of the law, you are a lawbreaker because you do not know the rules. So this is why they tell you that you feel fine, because you're now being penalized. Penalty or reward. The reward is the benefit of your continuation in this captivity. The penalty is fines. The penalty is money taken away from you. Your earnings for your energy, for your barter, for your trade. And that is the dealing with the world banking system, or the UCC, something that many of you are saying, what is he talking about? These are the things that led you off the path of being righteous and overseers and dealing with to be the civilizers and not just the civil. And what led you to these things was your baseball, basketball, football, tennis balls, the balls between your legs, the balls on your chest, softballs. All these balls represent the deity, or what they call their god of evil, that they call evil, which was called Baal, B-A-L. Now you go ahead to the Wikipedia and put Baal, B-A-L. And then you go to the arena where they put those who were considered to be Christians, Christ, like those who try to understand, and they put them in the arenas, and they put lions and tigers for them to fight. Then they put gladiators for them to fight, just as they have the boxing and those beating each other up for tickets called money from the monetary system, which means one way, their way, the mark of the beast, the symbols on the dollar bills, the many symbols that you don't know, you never even took time to look at, and if you did, you did not do anything about it because you're in captivity. And so as we continue, the various states are then typically divided into counties. Louisiana used the term parish. Alaska used the term boroughs, of what the U.S. Census Bureau terms county equivalents in these states. Counties and county equivalents may be further subdivided into what is called townships or towns in New York, Wisconsin, and New England, are treated as equivalents to townships. So if you say you live in a township, right? To win the ship. Look at that word township. To win ship. What ship? Worship, warship. Okay? People who already are connected together, unified by the law to keep you away from your true self. This is what they call the Census Bureau. Townships, also called towns, are used as subdivisions of a county. So these are the subdivisions of a county in 20 states, mostly in the Northeast and the Midwest. Population centers may be organized into incorporated cities. So now they call them population centers. these areas, population centers. You must rise up from a person, an employee, and think as a scientist, as an engineer, and as a policy or politician. You must think as a politician to know the policies that you will establish on waking up out of your deep sleep. That's when you will be saved. Population centers may be organized into incorporated cities, towns, or villages, and other types of municipalities. Municipalities are typically subordinate to the county government, with some exceptions. Certain cities, for examples, have consolidated with their county government as consolidated city-counties. Now, in Virginia, cities are completely independent from the county in which they would otherwise be a part. In some states, but particular in New England towns, they form the primary unit of local governments below the state level. In some cases, eliminated the need for county governments entirely. The government of each of the 5 permanently inhabited U.S. territories is also modeled and organized after the federal government. So we're talking about U.S. territories now. Not U.S. states, but the territories that they own. Each territory is further subdivided into smaller entities. You have Puerto Rico, which is a U.S. territory, has 78 municipalities. You have Northern Mariana Islands as 4 municipalities. You have Guam. Guam has villages. You have the U.S. Virgin Island, which has districts. And you have American Samoa. It has districts and unorganized atolls. Other U.S. subnational divisions include the District of Columbia. U.S. subnational beneath the national divisions include the District of Columbia. People want to say, what is the District of Columbia? It's called Washington, D.C. It's formerly the District of Columbia and also known as D.C. or just Washington. It is the capital city of the United States of America. It is located on the Potomac River, bordering Maryland and Virginia, with Congress holding its first sessions in the 1800s. Okay, so now we have this about Washington. I want to read that as far as the Potomac River, bordering Maryland. When they talk about Maryland, they're talking about Mary and Jesus. When they're talking about Virginia, we're talking about the Virgin Mary. And when they're talking about Congress, they're talking about to stop the progress of those who were here that is wrongly called Indians, who were part of the tribe of Abraham, who were considered to be Ishmaelites or Moors, holding their first session in 1800s. The session was secession. Secession is a takeover of the land. And we'll go further into that down in our studies. So you have divisions including the District of Columbia, several minor outlying islands. So you have United States minor outlying island is a statistical destination defined by the Internal Organization for Standardizations, ISO 3166-1 code. The entry code is ISO 3166-2 UM. The minor outlying islands and group of islands consist of 8 United States insular areas in the Pacific. These are in ownership of the United States. You have Indian reservations. An Indian reservation is a legal destination for an area of land managed by the federally recognized Native American tribe under the U.S. Bureau of Indian Affairs, rather than the state governments of the United States, in which they are physically located. Each of the 326 Indian reservations in the United States. Okay, these are the known reservations, 326 Indian reservations. We'll talk about that more. All of that which was just read are administered by the federal government, not by the state. Each Indian reservation is subdivided into various ways. For example, the Navajo Nation is divided into agencies and what is called chapter houses. A chapter house is an administrative communal meeting place on the territory of the Navajo Nation, where residents have a forum to express their opinions to their Navajo National Council delegate. While the Blackfoot Nation, also known as the Blackfeet Tribe or the Blackfeet Indian Reservation, is an Indian reservation and headquarters for the Skilski at Tapi people in the United States, located in Montana. Its members are comprised primarily of the Piegan Blackfoot Band. Okay, so now, and it is subdivided into communities. The federal government also maintains exclusive jurisdiction over the military's installations. A military base is a facility directly owned and operated by or for the military or one of its branches that shelters military equipment and personnel and facilities training and operations. A military base provides accommodations for one or more units, but may also be used as a command center. So you have different types of military installations. And American embassies. A diplomatic mission or foreign mission is a group of people from one state or an organization presented in another state to represent the sending state or organization officially in the receiving state. In practice, the phrase diplomatic mission usually denote the resident mission, namely the embassy. These are the things that we need to learn. The consulate is a diplomatic mission. The office of a consul is usually subordinated to the state's main representation in the capital of that foreign country, usually an embassy, or between Commonwealth countries' High Commission. Like the terms embassy or High Commission, consultant may refer. So you have military installations, you have embassies, consultants located in foreign countries. Other special purpose divisions exist separately for those for general governance, example of which includes conservation districts. These are protected areas or conservation areas or locations which receive protection because they recognize a natural, ecological, or cultural value, which vary by level of protection depending on the enabling laws of each country or the regulations of the international. So you have what they call protective laws. Then you have what they call congressional districts, also known as electoral districts or legislative districts or wards or electoral electorates in other nations. And these are divisions of a larger administrative region that represent the population of a region in a larger congressional body. Notably in Australia, electoral districts are referred. According to the U.S. Internal Revenue Service, the federal and state governments are established and recognized by the U.S. Constitution and state constitution. Federally recognized Indian tribal governments are recognized by the U.S. constitutions, treaties, statutes, and court decisions. Other entities may be recognized as governments by state law, court decisions, or examination of facts and circumstances that include it has the characteristics of a government, such as the powers of taxation, law enforcement, and civil authority. So when we talk about states, U.S. states, the comparison of U.S. state governments and local governments in the United States. The primary political entity of United States is the state. 4 states, Kentucky, Massachusetts, Pennsylvania, and Virginia, call themselves commonwealths. The word commonwealth or commonwealth in this context referred to the commonwealth or welfare of the public. The term has no legal impact. In 1777, the 13 colonies that had declared independence from Britain 1 year earlier in 1776 agreed to the formation of a confederacy. People say, well, what is a confederacy? A confederacy is a union of sovereign groups or states united for the purpose of a common action, usually created by a treaty. The confederations of states tend to be established for dealing with critical issues such as defense, foreign relations, internal trade, currency. So in July 1776, according to the formation of a confederation of states under the Articles of Confederation. The Articles of Confederation is a perpetual union. The word perpetual means it exists, it keeps going on, and was an agreement among the 13 original states of the United States of America that served as the first constitution. It was approved after much debate by the Second Continental Congress in November 15th. With an extremely limited central government, the Continental Congress was a series of legislative bodies which met in with the British American colonies and the newly declared United States just before, during, and after the American Revolution. The term Continental Congress most specifically refers to this. The Constitution incorporates a doctrine of separate powers, whereby the federal government is divided into 3 branches, and well as concepts of federalism, describing the rights and responsibility of state governments and of the states in relationship to the federal government. On numerous occasions, United States Supreme Court has affirmed that the 50 individual states and the United States as a whole are each sovereign jurisdictions under the Constitution due to the shared sovereignty between each state and the federal government. Americans are citizens of both the republic and the state which they reside. What is the Federal Republic? The Federal Republic is a federation of states with a republic form of government. Let me say that again, because this part here is very, very important. When you talk about federalism, when you're talking about republic, and then you're talking about somebody that's democratic, big difference. The founding state republic. A federal republic is a foundation of states with a republic form of government. It is a core, very important part. The literal meaning of the word republic, when used in reference to a form of government, means a country that is governed by elected representatives and by an elected leader rather than a king or a queen. Okay? A country that is governed by elected representatives and by an elected leader rather than by a king or a queen. So, recap that again. On numerous occasions, United States Court has affirmed that the 50 individual states of the United States as a whole are each sovereign jurisdictions under the Constitution. Due to the shared sovereignty between each state and the federal government, Americans are citizens of both the federal republic and of the state in which they reside. Okay, so wherever you reside, what does reside mean? In law, domicile is the status of attribution of being a lawful permanent resident in a particular jurisdiction. A person can remain domestic in a jurisdiction even after they have left it. They have maintained sufficient links with that jurisdiction and have not displayed an intention to leave permanently. So even though you have left your state that you were born in, you are still a permanent resident of that particular state if you have no intentions of leaving it permanently. States, however, are not sovereign in the Westphalian sense in international law. International law, also known as public international law or the laws of the nations. So when you want to speak of the law of the nations, it's called international law. It is the set of rules, the norms. Norms is things that happen normally, and the standards generally accepted in relationship between nations. It establishes normative guidelines and a common conceptual framework to guide states across a broad range of domains. So international laws, which says that each state has sovereignty over its territory and domestic affairs, to the exclusion of all external powers on the principle of non-interference in another state's domestic affairs, and that each state, no matter how large or small, is equal in international law. Additionally, the 50 U.S. states do not possess international legal sovereignty, meaning that they are not recognized by other sovereign states, such, for example, France, Germany, or the United Kingdom. The 50 states of the United States of America are as following. The list, both the postal codes abbreviation and traditional abbreviation of the state. So you have Alabama, which is AL or ALA, Alaska, which is AK, or spelling it, Alaska is ALASKA. You have Arizona, which is AZ or ARIZ. You have Arkansas, which is AR or ARK. You have California, which is CA or CALIF. You have Colorado, which is CO or COLO. You have Connecticut, which is CT or CONN abbreviated. You have Delaware, which is DE or DEL abbreviated. You have Florida, FLORIDA. Then you have FL and FLA abbreviated. You have Georgia, GEORGIA, abbreviated GA. You have Hawaii, HAWII, which is abbreviated HI. You have Idaho, abbreviated ID, spelled IDAHO. You have Illinois, which abbreviated IL or ILL. You have Indiana, abbreviated IN. Iowa, spelled IOWA, abbreviated IA. Kansas, KANSAS, abbreviated KS. Kentucky, KENTUCKY, abbreviated KY. Louisiana, LOUISANA, abbreviated LA. You have Maine, MAINE, abbreviated ME. You have Maryland or Maryland, MARYLAND, abbreviated MD. Massachusetts, Massachusetts, abbreviated MA. Michigan, MICHIGAN, abbreviated MI, abbreviated MICH. Minnesota, spelled MINNESOTA, abbreviated MA, also abbreviated MINN. Mississippi, MISSISSIPPI, abbreviated MS, also abbreviated MISS. Missouri, MISSOURI, abbreviated MO. Montana, MONTANA, abbreviated MT, also MONT. Nebraska, NEBRASKA, abbreviated NE, abbreviated NEB, or NEBR. Nevada, NEVADA, abbreviated NV or NEV. New Hampshire, NEW, and then HAMPHIRE, abbreviated NH or N.H. New Jersey, NEW, New Jersey, JERSEY, NJ, abbreviated or N.J. New Mexico, NEW, and then Mexico, MEXICO, abbreviation NM or N.MEX, period. New York, New, NEW, York, YORK, abbreviated NY, period, or N.Y. North Carolina, NORTH, Carolina, CARLINA, abbreviated NC or N.C. North Dakota, NORTH, and Dakota is spelled DAKOTA, ND or N.DAK. Ohio, spelled OHIO, abbreviated OH. Oklahoma, OK, spelled OKLAHOMA, abbreviation OK or OKIA. Origin, spelled OREGON, abbreviation OR or ORE or OREG. Pennsylvania, PENNSYIVANIA, abbreviation PA or PENN. Rhode Island, RODEISLAND, abbreviation RI, period, or R, period, I, period. Then you have South Carolina, SOUTHCARINA, abbreviated SC, period, or S.C. South Dakota, SOUTHDAKOTA, abbreviation SD, period. Tennessee, TENNESSEE, abbreviation TN or TENN. You have Texas, TEXAS, abbreviation TX or TEX. Utah, spelled UTAH, abbreviation UT. Vermont, spelled VERMONT, abbreviation VT, period. Virginia, VIRGINIA, abbreviation VA. Washington, WASHINGTON, abbreviation WAS, period, or WA. You have West Virginia, spelled WESTVIRGINIA, abbreviation WV. Wisconsin, WISCONSIN, abbreviation WI. And Wyoming, WYOMING. These things we say with the infinite flow to manifest the truth and let the love grow. For you need to know these things. You need to know the map of the United States. You need to know the state borders. You need to know the constitution of the state. You need to know the city that you live in and the rules that you live in the cities. You need to know the states. You need to know the governor, the kings of these states. You need to know the federal government. The 50 states can be divided into regions in many different ways. The continental United States typically refers to the main block of 48 states and their offshore islands, with the Atlantic Ocean to the east and the Pacific Ocean to the west, Canada to the north, and Mexico to the south. I will read that again. The continental United States, and let's see, the continental United States is officially the coterminous United States, consists of 48 adjoining U.S. states on the continent of North America. The terms exclude the non-contiguous states of Alaska and Hawaii, and the other offshore and insular areas such as American Samoa and the U.S. Virgin Islands. So what we're talking about is the cage that is spoken in Revelation, the cage of the filthy bird, which is considered to be the eagle, is the continental states, typically referred to the main block of the 48 states and their offshore islands, and with the Atlantic Ocean to the east, Pacific Ocean to the west, Canada to the north, Mexico to the south. Since this grouping contains 48 states, it is commonly referred to the lower 48. The lower 48. The destination contemporaneous or contagious United States is also used for this grouping of 48 states. Arguably, more accurately, since Alaska is also located on the North American continent. Therefore, the continental United States should really refer to the lower 48 plus Alaska. Alaska is an exclave of United States, physically connected only to Canada. So Alaska is a U.S. state on the northwest extremity of the country's west coast, just across the Bering Strait, a semi-exclave of the U.S. border. Its borders of the Canada province of the British Columbia and territory of Yukon to the east and southeast has a maritime border with Russia's Kakhovka autonomous. Okay, so now we know what's going on with that. It's right by Russia. Okay, so we're talking about North America. North America is a continent entirely within the northern hemisphere. and almost all within the Western Hemisphere, and can also be described as a northern subcontinent of the Americas. Its borders to the north by the Arctic Ocean, and to the east by the Atlantic Ocean, and by the southwest by South America. Counties in the United States. The United States, a county, is an administrative or political subdivision of a state that consists of a geographical region with specific boundaries and usually some level of governmental authority. The term county is used in 48 U.S. states, while Louisiana and Alaska as functionally equivalent. The states are divided into smaller administrative regions. Each state in America is strategically divided into smaller administrative regions called counties. In all but 2 states, Alaska, the county equivalents are called boroughs. The boroughs is part of the states which are not included are considered an unorganized borough, which itself is divided into the census areas. And in Louisiana, the county equivalents are called parishes. So counties have varying degrees of political and legal significance. In some states, mainly in New England, they are primarily used as judicial districts. In other states, counties have broad powers in housing, education, transportation, and recreation or recreation. Counties may contain a number of cities, towns, villages, or hamlets, or sometimes just a part of a city. Some cities are consolidated with and conterminous with the other counties, including Philadelphia, Honolulu, San Francisco, Nashville, and Denver. This is to say that these counties consist in their entirety of a single municipality, the government of which also operates as a county government. Some counties, such as Arlington County, Virginia, do not have additional subdivisions. Some states contain independent cities that are not part of any counties. Each of the 5 boroughs of New York City is conterminous with a county. You have townships and towns, but we're going to talk about New York City real quick. New York City, often called simply New York, is the most populous city in the United States, with an estimate in 2019 population of 8,336,817, distributed over about 302 square miles. New York City is also the most densely populated major city in the United States of America. Let's talk about what is a hamlet. A hamlet is a small human settlement in different jurisdictions and geographics. A hamlet may be the size of a town, a village, or a parish, or may consist to be a smaller settlement or subdivision or a satellite entity to a larger settlement. The word and concept of a hamlet have roots in Anglo-Normandy. San Francisco. San Francisco, Arlington County, is a county in the Commonwealth of Virginia. Virginia, often referred to simply as Arlington or Arlington, Virginia. The county is situated in northern Virginia on the southwestern bank of the Potomac River, directly across from the District of Columbia, of which once was part of that county. Now we'll get to Virginia. San Francisco, officially the city and county of San Francisco. It is a cultural, commercial, and financial center of the Northern California. San Francisco is the 16th most populous city of the United States and the 4th most populous in California, with an 881,549 residents as of 2019. So we're going to continue this. When we're talking about political divisions in the United States, why you should know this, why you're considered to be a consumer, and why you're not involved, because the teachings of the public school did not allow you, permit you, or even teach you to be involved in the decision-making of law, legislation, and the policy of the political system. They just baffled you and dangle materialistic ideas by giving you those leaders or stars and actors and harlots and liars, actors who portray that they were happy in their quest, in their living, as they also were surrounded by what they call civilian military bodyguards. Their houses was alarmed with surveillance. They were programmed to speak and do jobs to keep up their lifestyle, the lie that they had chosen. Those who are in the music tell lies and fantasies of dreams and hoping that you would fall. It is said and is now taught that the word rap music is rape music, raping you of your full potential and your true consciousness, putting you in a sleep mode, in a spell of ignorance, ignoring the truth. So these things that are being said to you are things that you should appreciate. You should honor these things. You should take your time to unravel the lies that's right before you. You should need to take time out of the falsehood that you're living called life. The life that you're living is a lie. Get back into what we call hayat and get back into the cleansing and become a muklasina to purify your ways and your actions, to put the rituals, the right moments, the right actions, the right breathing, the right walking, the right talking, when to talk, how to talk, who to communicate with, what to eat, what to consume, what not to consume, who to give homage and your energies to. These things is how we will rise up. We are already waiting for you. I have come over here to give you and to build the bridge back home. Home is in you. Home is not a physical location. Home is when you shut down, turn down the volume of your senses, seeing, hearing, tasting, smelling, and feeling, and go into your extra sensory perception and perceive and achieve, and to rise up out of your vehicle called the body, and rise up into what we call the self. The self is not the self flesh. The self is your original who you are, your higher power, which we also refer to as your oversoul. And with that, we conclude this part, and we will continue because it is necessary.